Tsonga, and he beat Tsonga. And he won as well the Masters in O2 Arena in London. That's at the end of 2011. And then he started a very strong season in 2012. He got, I think he got Indian Wells, he got Dubai, and definitely when he got back and he won in Wimbledon, it was great for him, and he became again #1, and he exceeded the number of 286 weeks for Pete Sampras.
Yes.
And he continued till 302 weeks as #1, and now he has the record. I don't think that Nadal or Djokovic can reach this record, though they are doing very well as well. I mean, Rafael Nadal now he has 13 Grand Slam. He is only 4 Grand Slams away from Roger, and still he's only 27 years old, and there is 5 years difference. 5 years means about 20 Grand Slams. Nadal, if he can get 5 out of it, he will exceed the total number of Grand Slams in the hands of Roger. But still,
being a tennis expert and also a great fan of Roger Federer, so how do you see him with the return in 2014? Do you think he can make one of the Grand Slams?
I think so.
Would it be Australian, do you think?
Especially Australia will be a good one, because, you know, he'll be the only tennis player ever to win 3 Grand Slams each 5 times. He has 7 times in Wimbledon, he has 5 times in the US Open, and he has 4 times in Australia. So if he can do it, he'll be the only one who can get, who got
3 Grand Slams,
5 times
5 and above.
Yeah, 5, exactly. In the same time, Rafael Nadal, if he's going to win the Australian Open this season, he'll be the only one to win all Grand Slams twice.
Yes.
No one before did that. He won Australian Open only in 2009, and he won Wimbledon twice, 8 and 10, and he won 8 Roland Garros, and he won as well the US Open. The last time was 2013. So he will be very happy to record his 14th Grand Slam to tie with Pete Sampras. Sampras stopped with number 14. He exceeded Roy Emerson, who had the record for so long time, till Sampras beat him in 2000 when he scored his 7th Wimbledon. It was his number 13, and then he exceeded 13 with 14. Last match in the final of US Open 2002 when he beat Agassi, and then we stayed for a whole year waiting the comeback of Sampras, and he, in the first night of the second 2003 US Open, Sampras came and he announced he stopped playing quitting the game. Yeah.
How about Rafael Nadal? Rafael Nadal is now on top of the list. He had a great comeback in 2013. I think it was one of his best years to have this, you know, strong returns. Do you think he can maintain this, knowing that Novak Djokovic is coming from behind also and is focused on beating him in 2014?
The last 2 meetings in the final of Beijing and then the final of the Masters, Djokovic beat Rafael Nadal, though Rafael Nadal, when he was number 2, he always beat Djokovic. I don't know what about that. Number 2 is always the winner. I don't know.
Yes.
That was the case last year. Meanwhile, I followed and I watched Rafael Nadal pretty well in the first event he participated. It's only 250, but he likes to participate in Qatar, in Doha, because they are financing a huge academy on his name there in Qatar, near just by the federation. And he wanted very much to win at least once. He never won Doha. He went to the final several times, and every time he's there, he lost. So it was a very good win for him, and he played with Gael Monfils. Before this final of Doha, they played 10 times. 8 for Rafa, and only 2 times for Gael Monfils. And the 2 times Gael Monfils beat Rafael Nadal was in Doha. So the final was shaky for him, and he even lost the second set in a tiebreak, but he managed at the end to win the title. I don't think that Nadal is playing his best, but my consideration that he is the toughest. Mental toughness is the greatest ever among not only tennis, among all games. That's why he can come back and he believed in himself and he can change any result. So you never know whenever you're going to beat Rafa unless you have the match point and the match is over. But
amazing focus.
Only 1 point left, and you have plenty of points. You have to beat him. Not yet. Yeah.
Yes. What about Novak Djokovic? With the new coach Boris Becker is joining him, and do you think he stands a chance to regain his top spot?
I think he stands a good chance to get back as #1, and he's working very hard. He's a very hard worker and a very committed person to what he's doing. I mean, he is following a certain nutrition regime, which is very tough. But he's doing that for his physical fitness, and he's very elastic. I mean, he can make a grand car. I mean, like gymnasts. And when it needs, he is a very big wall. Everything is coming back, and then he has the winning shots, and he's improving very much his net game. He worked with Mark Woodford, one of the Woodies, Todd Woodbridge and Mark Woodford, one of the legends of doubles. But I think the thing he needs from Boom Boom, from Boris Becker, is how to play a volley single. It's different than the volley in doubles. As well, how can you perform serve and net? Serve and net, it needs a certain tactic and a certain footwork, and he has to know what to do. I think Boris Becker, one of the best ones, doing that. And
Abu Dhabi was the start for Boris Becker and for Novak Djokovic for this season. How do you see this beginning for this season?
He's still hungry, and that's good for his game and for his fans. That he won it 3 years in a row now, and he got extra $250,000 US, the prize money of Mubadala. But every one of them, I mean, Nadal and Djokovic, at least, they are getting huge amount of money just to be there. The presentation fees to go there. But he got the title for the 3rd time, and it's a very good preparation. I think they were not just playing as an exhibition. They were really competing, and every one of them he wanted to win. And $250,000 is not something bad, to win.
Right. If we switch from men to women's competition, and we'll speak only about Serena Williams. Serena Williams is dominating the scene totally in the women's competition. So how would you see 2014? Would we expect any surprises, any rising stars there?
I think Serena she'll be there. She got her 58th title in Brisbane, and she beat Sharapova in the semis, and then she beat Azarenka in the final. And she's really strong. She's 32 years old. The others are much younger than her. I mean, 8 years between her and Azarenka, and 6 years between her and Maria Sharapova. But still, she's very much, very powerful and very concentrating. And though she looks a little bit bulky or something,
yes,
but she's very agile, and she can move very well, and she expects the shots very good, and she has wonderful shots, and that's why she's #1. I think she'll be there for a while.
Yes, it's definitely expected with the strength and stamina for Serena Williams to be continuing further. My final question, do you think any other ladies would be competing with surprises, any rising stars?
We didn't find someone we can say that she is the one to come. Some Russians, but they are not performing well. Bojana Jovanovski, Serb, but she didn't perform well. Still, it is Serena, Azarenka, Sharapova.
Yes.
She's coming back after injury. Agnieszka Radwanska, I don't know, but she lost very early in Sydney in the 1st round.
Yes.
From Bettina Matic-Sands. She was
like
coming from qualifying.
Another season that will be totally dominated by Serena Williams once again. Let's end it here for tennis and move for the story. Tens of thousands of people turned out to say a final farewell to Portuguese football legend Eusebio, who grew up in grinding African poverty to become one of the world's greatest players in football. Let's have a look at the story.
Mourners lined the streets of Lisbon and applauded as the black hearse carrying Eusebio's coffin, draped in the red and white colours of his club side Benfica. Flags flew at half-mast across Lisbon, where the Portuguese government is decreeing 3 days of mourning for Eusebio da Silva Ferreira, who died of a heart attack early Sunday, aged 71. Born into poverty in Africa, Eusebio scored 733 goals in 745 matches and rivaled all-time greats including Pelé, Alfredo Di Stefano and Bobby Charlton. From humble origins in the former Portuguese colony of Mozambique, Eusebio was to emerge as one of the world's most feared strikers, combining panther-like pace with a ferocious shooting ability. Born in 1942, the poor boy from Maputo rose to prominence in Mozambique's football circles as a teenager through his performances with Sporting Lourenço Marques. With his exceptional technique, strength and goal-scoring record, it was not long before word of Eusebio's prowess soon filtered back to Portugal and he joined Benfica. In an early game for Benfica, he outshone Pelé in a friendly against Santos, and in 1962 he scored the crucial goals in a 5-3 victory over Real Madrid in the European Cup final. When Madrid's legendary Hungarian Ferenc Puskás symbolically handed his jersey to Eusebio after the match, the message was clear. The torch had passed, and in 1965 Eusebio was awarded the Ballon d'Or. While Eusebio excelled with Benfica in Europe,